This is one of the most common mistakes that intermediate English speakers make. And here's why I think it happens. It might just be that in your native language you just use one word for these two different meanings in English. And then get to know might just be a collocation that you're not so familiar with. And here's a question for you. Say that you and this guy, let's name him Lucas, are friends and you became friends 5 years ago. Alright? And so how can you say that in a sentence similar to this one? And there's a mistake in this sentence. And I've heard my students say this sentence a lot, but there's a mistake there. Do you know how to fix up this sentence? What will be the correct way of expressing the idea? And we'll come back to this sentence later on in the video. So why don't we clear up the confusion once and for all? Stay tuned on this video to learn how to use these different words so that you can express yourself exactly right. Also, give this video a big thumbs up, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. It helps me help you. And if you do that, I'll help you speak English fluently in just 3 minutes. 3 minutes? Seriously though, I don't get what the fascination with this influencer saying that they're gonna teach you English and they're gonna make you go fluent in just 3 months. I don't get what the fascination is with the number 3. Okay, so I'll do better than that. How about 3 minutes, okay? So if you're down for that, all right, so subscribe, continue watching this video, and let's do it. So here we are, friends. We have the word no to the left and meet on the right. Okay, so what is the meaning of no? I think that you know what this word means because it's a very basic word, right? Okay, so we have some examples here. I know him very well. I barely know him, which is the opposite of I know him very well. If you barely know someone, you know that person, but not too much. You just know, their name, who they are, like in general terms, but that's about it. So, I barely know him. Do you know Tim? We know each other very well. We know each other very well, or you and Lucas know each other very well. I know Sarah like the back of my hand. I know her very well. I know her. All right, now meet. Meet means to see and talk to someone for the first time. It's that first contact, all right? Or when you get introduced to another person and you go, hello, I'm Max, nice to meet you. And the other person says, nice to meet you too. So we have some other examples here. We met at school, or we met in some city, like we met in Mexico City. I met my wife at university. I met my wife at university. Nice to meet you, right? Or it was nice meeting you. I'll meet my future roommate tomorrow. All right, now that we've seen these two words, which of the two do you think happens first? Meet. So you first meet a person and then you can say that you know that person. However, there are different levels of knowing a person. You can, and let's go back to the screen, you can know someone in the sense that you are an acquaintance, okay? That you know each other, but you're not necessarily friends, right? So you're familiar with a person, meaning you know that they exist, you know that this is a person, right? This is Charlie, okay? Charlie, I know he is a person, he is like a character in my life, right? Or you know them by sight, right? You know them by sight, meaning you've seen them before, you can recognize their face. Well, in that case, that wouldn't be an acquaintance, because if someone is an acquaintance, it means that you talk each other. Like if you meet on the street, you're gonna say, hey, hello, how are you? You're an acquaintance. You're not friends, but you're acquaintances, okay? Excellent. And then there is the other level, right, of knowing someone at a deeper level, and that's a friend, right? Or maybe just a closer person. Now, in order to know where get to know fits into all of this, you have to think of this as a sequence where meet is the first contact, the first step. Then you get to know someone, right? You get to know a person, and then you can see that you know them. So let's go back to this story with Lucas, your friend from 5 years ago. And you first met this guy, Lucas, 5 years ago at university, let's say. And then you started to get to know him because you shared some classes with this person.
Okay, and then you became friends, and now you can say that you know him. You know him because you know some details about him, you know his story, you know a little bit of his background, what he likes, what he doesn't like, his taste of music, all those kind of things. So now that we know where get to know fits into all of this, let's go back here where we have our two words here, know and meet, and we're going to move meet a little bit to the right so that we can unveil what we have on the back here, and is get to know. To gradually begin to know someone, right? So we have a few examples here. We had met before, but I didn't get to know her until we shared a class at college. We haven't gotten to know Tim yet. Let's go and chat with him. All right, so I hope that was of help and you can now understand know, meet, and get to know a little bit better. Now we're gonna go back to that sentence I shared in the beginning. This sentence, I know Lucas for 5 years, and we're gonna try and think of why that is not the best way to say that. And actually, we don't need to add any word other than just one auxiliary so that we can change the tense of this sentence. We need to say this in the present perfect. I've known Lucas for 5 years. One of the reasons why we use the present perfect is to talk about an action or a state that started in the past and continues up to the present, or is still relevant at present. So Lucas, you knew about him 5 years ago, 4 years ago in the past, but you still know him. So that's what we say, I've known Lucas for 5 years, or we are in 2022, so you can say I've known Lucas since 2017, right? That is 5 years ago. Again, be careful with using know in the present simple or even in the past simple, like I knew him 5 years ago. In that case, maybe what you wanted to say is I met him 5 years ago. That's another very, very common mistake, right? Mistaking or mixing up know with meet, and sometimes also confusing the verb tenses. Okay, that's it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed that. And if this is the first time that we meet, okay, well, nice to meet you. It's been a pleasure sharing this moment with you. I hope that you can get to know me better by watching some of my other videos, the videos that are still to come, and no better way to do that than by subscribing to the channel so that you're sure not to miss any of my future videos. Now continue with your English learner streak and go watch this video up here, which I think you're going to like. I'll see you there.